Some superheroes are known for great style, right down to their ridiculously sexy cars. What's up, Comic Book Nation? BD here, and today I've compiled my list of the 10 sexiest cars from comic book movies. Quick honorable mentions: Bruce Wayne's Mercedes from Justice League. That thing looks like it landed on our planet from the future. And Bumblebee has many different Camaros, because that's awesome. But Transformers were cartoons and toys before they were comics, so they don't count on our list of comic book movies, which also applies to the Fast and Furious franchise, which will save us a whole lot of time. So with this list, we're not counting the many Batmobiles we've seen or blacked out Tahoes that should get bonus points for having machine gun turrets in their center console. No. These are the sexiest cars, because we want to turn heads, not roll heads. Number 10, Joker's purple Lamborghini. The car was made famous in Suicide Squad partly because it spawned a Rick Ross and Skrillex song that absolutely slapped. Don't lie, you bumped it, high bass. And this special made for the movie car is gorgeous on all fronts, although it could have been just a little less purple if we're being honest. It was special designed for the movie, so even though you might have the money, probably not, you can't even buy one if you do. Number 9, Black Widow's Harley Davidson Livewire. In Avengers Age of Ultron, Natasha Romanoff was seen riding this all-electric bike when it was still just a prototype, and it was definitely ahead of its time. As it turns out, the bike is still not even available to the public since appearing in this movie from 2015, but will go into production later this year in 2020. Want one? That's gonna run you about 30 grand. Number 8, Shuri's Lexus LC. Well, technically this sexy blue two-door doesn't belong to Shuri, it's just really commandeered with her Wakandan tech in the Black Panther movie, but ever since we saw T'Challa riding on the top of this car, don't lie, we all wanted one. Without the Wakandan remote tech, this bad boy clocks in at $92,000 for a new base model. Number 7, Bruce Wayne's Aston Martin DBS Mark III. This 1957 car would auction at around $400,000 today, and Ben Affleck's Bruce Wayne just rolled on up to Lex Luthor's gala in it to pick a little fight with Clark Kent over his puff piece editorials. Ain't nothing puff piece about driving this sleek, stylish piece of history. That's a straight up James Bond car if you think about it, Aston Martin. And you have to wonder if Batman secretly installed some 007 gadgets himself to make this a Bondmobile for Batman. Get it? Bondmobile? Batmobile? Okay. Number 6, Tony Stark's Acura NSX. Yes, this thing is really an Acura at the end of Avengers, and a new model MSRP's at about $157,000, which is cheap by Tony Stark standards. The one used in this movie though, well, that's valued at about $9 million, which makes a little more sense, and in the MCU's canon has an onslaught of Stark tech like flares, shields, and night vision through the windshield. Number 5, Tony Stark's Audi e-tron GT. This car from Avengers Endgame is just a concept car for now. Audi should be releasing them in early 2021, and their powerful all-electric driver will probably cost a bit more than $100,000. The sleek design goes right down on through the wheels, and all the money you'll save on gas? Maybe go for it. Number 4, Doctor Strange's Lamborghini Huracan. This thing, it's just devastating because that sexy $200,000 plus car gets absolutely destroyed when Stephen Strange does way too much not paying attention to the road. I can only imagine his was worth way more than $200,000, considering it was capable of showing off X-rays or other transmissions before it went flying and tumbling and spinning and crashing off of a cliff. Oof, that hurts to watch. Number 3, speaking of jumping off of cliffs, Black Widow had a super dope Corvette. In 2014, Chevrolet relaunched the Corvette with a new design, and that design made the cut of Captain America the Winter Soldier. Maybe some product placement, and it was all black, and it was sexy. You could probably find a used version of this car today for about $45,000, but when it was released, it was more like $70,000 when it was new. Number 2, Bruce Wayne's Lamborghini Aventador. Christian Bale's Bruce Wayne had quite a few sexy vehicles, but his Lambo takes the cake. I mean, it's right up there with his Murcielago from The Dark Knight before it, but really, this Aventador just drips with style. New, it would cost more than $400,000 for the most basic version of this car. Today, you could probably get a used model of the car from 2012, the year The Dark Knight Rises came out, for about $250,000 if you have that laying around. Number 1, the sexiest car in comic book movies, Tony Stark's Audi R8. Iron Man has had quite a few sexy cars fitting his egotistical persona defined by money and style, but don't act like you wouldn't love to get behind the wheel of one of these $170,000 bad Larrys. Want a 2012 like the orange one you saw in Iron Man 3? Well, that'll run you close to at least $70,000 8 years later. What's your favorite car from a comic book movie? Drop it in the comments section and support my crowdfund campaign so I can afford to go buy one myself. Or just hit me up on Instagram and Twitter at BrandonDavisBD. What other comic book topics do you want to talk about? Let us know in the comments and stay tuned to Comicbook.com. I'm BD. I'll see you there.